Good afternoon, and welcome to a special online presentation of Concerts on the Canal. Thank you for joining us. My name is Mary Hubble, and I'm a singer and a voice teacher, and I'm also a board member of Gateway City Live. This is a nonprofit organization dedicated to the promotion of all the arts in the Pioneer Valley. GCL's home is Gateway City Arts. It's a fascinating venue in Holyoke, Massachusetts. It's a converted paper plant that creatively uses its many spaces to present a variety of events. It also contains 2 restaurants and a bar. Since 2015, I have been lucky enough to present classical chamber music at Gateway. And we call the series Concerts on the Canal because Gateway sits right next to one of Holyoke's canals. Today, of course, we're online, so we have to just imagine the canal. There are no events right now due to COVID at Gateway City Arts, but we hope it's a temporary closure. And today we're going to celebrate some of the performers who have presented beautiful concerts at Gateway. And we hope to inspire you to donate to Gateway's GoFundMe campaign so that Gateway can reopen in a few months and we can all be together in person enjoying all these musicians. So an example of a wonderful musician, a wonderful friend to Gateway, is cellist Ignacy Gajdamovich. I was really lucky I got to perform with him and a wonderful pianist, Deborah Gilwood, last year. Here's the poster for that event. And we had a wonderful time performing together. He has been very generous, and today he has created a beautiful video to share with us. He's performing the Prelude and Allemande of Bach's Cello Suite No. 2. He's playing a cello made by Ludwig Neuner in 1889. And he's employing historical performance practice techniques. He's using a Baroque bow. He's playing on gut strings, and he's tuning to 415. Enjoy. Really. Oh, that was really beautiful. Thank you so much, Ignacy, for that gorgeous performance. So right now I'm going to bring on the founders of GCA, Lori Devine and Vitek Kruta. Hi. There they are.
Good afternoon.
Hi, everybody.
Nice to see you.
Hi, Mary.
Hi. How are you guys doing?
We're like everybody else.
Hanging there.
Yeah, getting through.
Yeah.
So
But
for people,
before you start, we wanted to thank you and Emily for putting this together, and GCL and all the musicians who are participating. This is our first attempt at this, and we really appreciate, everything that you've done to help us.
Yes, thank you.
You're very welcome. And you're right. This is my first attempt at something like this too. It's really interesting. And I've been really grateful that all these musicians said, sure, I'll come participate. It's really nice of them. For people who don't know, you guys saw the paper plan and said, we see a cultural center. Like, when did that happen?
Go.
Well, it started because VTech needed a bigger studio. That's how this whole entire endeavor started. And we couldn't find anything affordable in Northampton and fell in love with the buildings in Holyoke and decided, okay, he had a studio, I could have a studio. And with the extra space, we were going to create an art and cultural center. And that was wonderful. In 2012.
2012. Wow. So yeah, that's interesting. And you've expanded. You have the one building and you added a building, right? Or
well, both buildings were part of it, but it was the place that we call the hub was a warehouse when we bought it, and it was rented out to other people. So over the years, we kind of listened and watched what people wanted and expanded to what the needs of the community were. We never opened with the intention of having a restaurant or two and 2 or 3 bars and, live big concerts, and it just all evolved. So.
Well, there's so many arts that are represented there. You shared a couple of photos with me that I wanted to share on this, and you could sort of explain what's happening in them a little bit. Well, here's the first one. This is Peter Blanchett, yeah?
This is Peter Blanchett.
Oops. There you go.
This is Peter Blanchett, who graciously agreed to play for our audience that sits actually in the beer garden, which is a patio between those 2 buildings. And later on, we added a connecting building, which is now the bistro, the restaurant, the bar, and it serves the beer garden as well. And Peter loves playing there, so occasionally we take this. He's sitting on the formal loading dock, and we take off the railing like this, and it becomes a perfect stage. He's about 4 feet above the audience. Everybody can see him clearly, and he sees everybody else, and it's a great atmosphere.
Oh, that sounds really fun. So the next photo is, dancers. That looks beautiful.
It's flamenco.
Yeah.
I can't remember which program this was part of, but it was an international music. What we try to do is have all different genres of music, of theater. We have Bread and Puppet Theater, who's been there 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah.
But this was a night of flamenco, guitar, and dance.
Beautiful. Looks great. Oh, circus.
Yes. So this was we work a lot with the community and with schools and with different organizations and other nonprofits, and this was part of the Winter Festival. And the Winter Festival goes for about 5 days, and at the end of it, it's usually on Sunday. There's a brunch, or there was a brunch. And during the brunch, we also invited the performers from East Hampton, from the circus. and they were putting on fantastic show for people while they were eating and having their breakfast.
That's great.
Yeah.
And this one is Genuine Culture event.
Yeah.
So Damani Gordon is co-founder of Genuine Culture, and we started to work with that organization for probably 4 years ago. And since then, they are producing their own shows, and we basically provide the space.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fantastic. We have a really great relationship, and they bring a lot of amazing music,
speakers and music.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and dance.
And then, and this one is that's me, actually. And that's the concert I was mentioning that where I sang with Ignacy, and Deborah Gilwood is the pianist there. And I wanted to show this picture because it is a Concerts on the Canal, but also there's that huge picture of Martin Luther King behind us. We just happened to be able to perform in a space with all these civil rights leaders because it just corresponded. It happened to coordinate that this art show was up.
So yes, so one of our Gateway City Alive members, Dimitri Rinsky, and his friend from Connecticut, who happens to be the son of Robert Templeton, who is was a major artist who actually painted the portrait of President Carter, which is today in Presidential Library. And they offered us to lend us the exhibit of about 40 paintings, maybe.
Civil rights leaders.
Civil rights leaders. And also, Mr. Templeton also did the sketches from the actual courtrooms during the trials with the Black Panther movement.
Oh, right, and the Bobby Seale. Yeah, I remember seeing those.
So we were able to show all these as well. And during the duration of the exhibit, which was about 1 month, we had lectures and discussions, and it was also very, very amazing,
powerful
right.
Event. Yes.
So all that's to say, all that's to say, I mean, Gateway has so many different events there. So when COVID happened, you had to stop. And so how did you develop the GoFundMe campaign?
Desperation. When we don't have people in the building, we don't have any income. And we made an early decision. I think we closed our doors on March 12th, as soon as it started to happen, because our staff, we did not want to put anyone in jeopardy, our staff, the community. And yet, we have 2 big buildings that we need to pay bills for. And with no income, that was, we thought, well, let's give this a try. We're trying to keep open long enough to get a vaccine or until sanity returends or something. We don't know.
Right. Yeah. Nobody knows, and nobody can know, unfortunately. But the goal is that you can reopen maybe in the new year and have all this wonderful art and all these wonderful events can happen there again. That's fingers crossed. So for people that want to donate, there is a link on the GCL page. If you're watching on that right now, the Facebook page, you can see.
People have been very generous and
it's going great.
Very grateful for the help that we've gotten already. And, we'll see. We're here. We're excited still, but.
I was just quick explanation. I was trying to find the best way how to describe to people what we are going through because it's huge. And this was a business that has been building up for 8 years, and I am comparing it to a freight train. It's not like a car that stopped, and then if you are ready, you can just turn on the engine and go. It was so fast that it was like, imagine this freight train where everybody who was working on it basically jumped off, and the train is still going. That means the bills are still coming, the phone, the utilities, all this, everything is still coming. And so we are in this situation where all this amazing conglomerate of things that need to be put together to make it happen is not, asking us if we want to stop or not. It's still going, you know. And
Yes.
so for us to really wait another 8 months, this is the only way how we can hope that we can still survive as a business.
Because our business depends on people, on groups of people being in the building, whether it's music or weddings or theater or whatever. It's all about community. So
right. Well, I mean, hopefully good things will happen. I have faith that good things are going to happen in 2021. I think we just gotta hang in there, make it through this year, and I'm sure we'll all be back together again.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Thank
you so much. Thanks for talking to me today about it and letting people know. And we're gonna go on with the show, but you guys enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Stay healthy, everyone.
Great. So the next person I'll talk to for just a few minutes and then play some beautiful music is Emily Brink, who is a fellow singer and a fellow board member of Gateway City Live. Hello, Emily.
Hi, Mary. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you. You helped me put this all together. And if people don't know who you are, they should know. You're a wonderful singer. You just graduated from UMass, right?
Yeah, I did in May of 2019 with my master's in voice.
That's so great. And then you started working for GCA?
Yeah. So my path has been a little bit all over the place. I sing, I'm an arts administrator, event management. I kind of do a bunch of different things. But my position at GCA initially started as administrative assistant. And then in April of this year, kind of crazy timing, but I became the event coordinator. And so unfortunately, there's not too many events to be coordinating right now, but that is my role at GCA. And then I also joined the board of GCL in about November or December of last year. So not too soon or not too far after I had joined GCA.
Yes, I remember. We're glad that you joined us. And so you, what are some of the initiatives do you think of GCL, just so that people know the kind of things that we do? I mean, Concerts on the Canal, obviously, what we're doing right now, but we've also done, had an initiative of Dinner and a Movie where we had documentaries and the makers would come and speak to us. And what were some other ones that you were excited about?
I really only was part of the Concerts on the Canal, the one that you performed in. And then I was around for the Winter Festival as well. And that was super fun. Just a variety of different events coming together. That was great. We also host Ghostlight Theater, which is amazing.
Of course. Kevin Tracy. Yep.
Yeah. Those are just a few of the events.
Well, fingers crossed that we can continue those next year and develop more ideas for the space and for the nonprofit. But I think it's a great time for Emily's debut on Concerts on the Canal. She's prepared a beautiful video for us to watch of singing Spring by Dominic Argento. It's from 6 Elizabethan songs. Is this a piece that you worked on in your master's with Professor Guarine?
Yes, this was a song I performed on my master's recital, so it's pretty exciting to get to perform it again and be performing at all. Honestly, it's been a tough time for anyone, performers, especially because there's not any live performances happening. So it's been great to be a part of this. So thank you again for allowing me to be part of the stream.
That's good. It's beautiful. I love your performance. So everybody enjoy this charming, charming video of Emily Brink's rendition of Spring by Dominic Argento.
Spring, oh sweet spring, it's thy year's pleasant king, that blooms each thing, and makes its tender ring. Crushed doth not stay, the pretty birds do sing. Cuckoo, chuck, chuck, pooing, pooing down.
Oh, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Emily. Wonderful. So moving on to even more wonderful music, and another short conversation with my very good friend Alice Jones, who has performed at Gateway a couple of times. So we're going to bring her on to say hi to us.
Hey, Mary.
Hey, all the way from Brooklyn.
Oh my gosh, it's so nice to see you, and it's so nice to be talking about a really beautiful space like Gateway.
I know. We loved when you came. I think I have a poster of when you came. It was, and we did something it was all the way back in 2015.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I went back
remember
and I was looking. I've played there 4 times, actually.
I forgot it was that many times. But we did a French thing together with Darren, and we did some WC. It was beautiful. There it is with the beautiful
Oh my
Ferris
gosh.
wheel.
Yes.
That was fun. We did Chaminade, we did some really fun
Yes.
music.
Oh my
That
gosh,
was great.
yeah. It's so cool that there's so much like variety of beautiful art making and such a range of music, and that you'll let me, a person from Brooklyn, come up and visit and play with you.
We allow you. We're thrilled when you come up. For people who don't know, Alice is an incredible flute player, and we met in our doctoral program in New York. And she still lives in New York and is now working for Juilliard, which is amazing. And she's performing and teaching and just being amazing flute player in New York. So we got to bring you back to Gateway when we can. Fingers crossed that everything works out and you can come play again.
Oh my God, for you guys, my schedule is clear. I will clear my calendar.
See, look what Gateway inspires. It's such incredible musician and music making. One of the things that you've been working on during this crazy time, it's done somewhat well on Twitter and Facebook, is you've been writing your own music. And
Yeah.
you're calling it Tiny Efforts, which they're not tiny. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, tiny is about as much as I can manage when every day is a new series of adventures and disasters, right? And I had written a set of pieces, and I was figuring out what to do with them. And similar to Lori and Vitek, I'm thinking about my artistic community and the ways that we can all support each other. And so I put the scores online for free and said that anybody who plays them, I will send you some money. And if you're a BIPOC artist, I want to support you even more. And it's been really cool. So it's a way to for me to connect with other people and try to, send a little money where I hope that it can help at least a tiny bit.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You're such a generous person. You think of other people right away.
Other people have been generous too. So I hope that in the way that other people have been sending me money to support it, I hope people are here supporting Gateway tonight too.
Right. It's the cool thing about it is that you've written these pieces that any instrument can play. If I go on Twitter, they'll be like, there's a violist playing it and a pianist playing the same piece and then a flute playing the same piece. And it's really cool. It's
yeah.
It's funny, I'm married to a composer. Composers are usually pretty specific. No, it has to be this way. And you're just like, hey, have fun with it.
2020, do what you can. Yeah.
Do what you can. I've been trying to sing one of those. It's hard. The People Could Fly. It's beautiful, but for the voice, it's tricky, but I'm going to keep working on it.
I'm looking forward to hearing it whenever you're ready.
Okay, I hope might be ready someday. But if people want to go to Twitter or any other social media, they can just check out hashtag Tiny Efforts 2020, right? And they can see all these great performances. Are we still connected? I never know with this technology. Yes, okay, we're still connected.
Yeah, sorry, my internet's being a little wonky. Thanks for your patience.
No, of course. It's not anyone. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's so cool that you could join us from Brooklyn. I'm in Belchertown, and you're in Brooklyn, and we're still able to talk about all this. So that's really exciting. I hope everyone was here. Yeah, exactly. It's a gateway. I hope everyone will go to your page and check out the music you've got. And anyone watching who plays an instrument, just go on her page and download her music and have fun with it. And you'll see what other people are doing with it too. It's a really great thing that she's done here. It's really caught fire. So we're going to play actually a video of you playing your own piece. This is Sun Showers, right?
Yes.
What sort of inspired this one for you?
Oh my gosh. This one is kind of, I was thinking about two of my composers that I just really love. Toru Takemitsu, who was a Japanese composer of the 20th century, wrote fantastic music for solo flute. and Philip Glass. And I'm kind of like imagining if the two of them were hanging out, maybe with like Valerie Coleman, who's a great living Black American flutist, and like she writes fantastic music, and they're all people whose music really inspires me. So yeah, as they kind of jumble around in my head, thinking about that kind of feeling, and because it's a weird juxtaposition, it reminds me of the feeling, like a sun shower. The sun is shining and you're getting wet in the face.
I like it. That's great. Well, that's exciting. I've heard the piece. I can't wait to listen to it again right now. And I didn't get the Philip Glass. I'm gonna listen to Philip Glass this time. That's a great insight. Oh, right. Well, thank you so much, Alice.
Today.
Thanks for stopping by in a way and virtually and talking to me about it. So everyone now can enjoy one of your great compositions, Sun Showers. Oh, that's wonderful. I love how expressive Alice's playing is. I can't wait for her to come to Gateway again and to get to work with her again when things are better. Moving on to another great more friends of Gateway, cellist Arthur Cook and pianist Deborah Gilwood. They've come to Gateway twice together. And hi, Arthur. It's so good
Hi.
to see you.
How are you?
Good. So I asked Arthur to come on because they provided this video of his Beethoven sonata, but Deborah's in Amherst and you're in Jersey City. So
Yes.
you were explaining to me sort of how you did it, and I said, why don't you just come on the show and explain to everyone how you did this? Because now we're living in this time where we need to figure out how to make music.
Right.
And we can't be in the same room often. So
well, yeah, this was an experiment in trying to make chamber music in the summer of 2020. We had been engaged to perform this Beethoven sonata as part of a festival at Pianophoria that Deborah participates in the summer in New York City. And since it's the Beethoven year, we were asked to perform this on their Beethoven concert to represent middle Beethoven, Opus 69. So the festival and the concert, everything got canceled, but the presenter asked us to try to put together this concert, and just so you know, the festival did go on with everything online as well. So Marcia Eckert, who runs the festival, really put things together. She asked us to record this under the aegis of a recording engineer at Mannes College, who had, when everything got shut down this past spring, ended up putting together all the graduation recitals that needed to happen this past spring. So, and his name is Riley Palmer. So what we did, Deborah and I had performed the piece earlier this season. We've done this piece a lot, but I recorded my part here in Jersey City, and she recorded her part in Amherst in her studio. So there was some going back and forth, and the second movement worked great with Deborah just recording her part and then me piling on top of that. And that was the way that Riley did most of the graduation work, at Mannes in the spring. No understanding that the piano usually has the engine, the rhythmic engine and everything. And so then just structurally, it's easier for then people to pile on top with that. But with this piece, what was very interesting about this piece is also just this recording method that show the advancement of Beethoven as a composer really threw this into relief, because by this point he had composed 2 cello sonatas and a whole lot of violin sonatas going up to this Opus 69. So this sonata format for 2 instruments was something that he'd been composing in already in his career. But by this point of Opus 69, the roles of the 2 instruments was really starting to be pulled apart more and more. And so when we tried to record the first movement with Deborah doing the piano and then I would lay down, there was just so much, there's so much back and forth, and there's a delicacy about this piece as well, that the cello opens up and then the piano comes in, and there's just these graceful handoffs through the entire piece that there's no engine underneath us going the whole time. It's like Balanchine. I mean, it's just the most beautiful, graceful writing. And a student of mine commented that it was more like Jane Austen than Beethoven. So I thought, mixing our genres a bit. But what we finally ended up doing is Deborah recorded her part with a click track, and that's, for people who don't know, that's when you have like a metronome going in your ear that nobody else can hear but just the performer. And so then that part was then emailed to me, and then I put in my headphones and clicked into my tablet so I could hear her, which you'll see in the frame where I'm recording. My tablet is down beside me, and I'm kind of looking and listening to the click track and Deborah, and then I'm recording on top of that. So, wow. I mean, there's a lot of things that are difficult to to match, even then, because there are times when I can't really hear her that well in my earphone, and she was not hearing me at all. So it's not the most wonderful way of making chamber music, but
You had to adjust to so many things in your ears.
Yeah. I mean, it was a huge challenge, but it was a lot of fun and actually revelatory in terms of not only this piece of music and its inherent delicacy, which I already knew about, but just that was thrown into relief, and also just the very subtle signaling that classical chamber music players do to each other that just goes beyond what we can do with a click track. And I realized that as somebody who works in New York City, and I've do any number of commercial things where I'm handed a click track to put in my ear, and I lay down my track and everybody else does, and then the album of whomever comes out later. That's just the absolute way of doing business with a lot of pop music, and that's just the way of doing it. And pop music, which ironically has this very reputation of being so free, and we're all about this in classical music, which is supposedly so strict and all that. The opposite was completely true in my experience of this. Yeah. I mean, because it was very difficult to make this work. I'll just say that. But it was really a lot of fun. But I probably talked more than you needed.
No, it's wonderful. I mean, and the nuance of people being in the same space together, and sort of you pick up on these signals. Sometimes it's breathing, sometimes it's a gesture, but you pick up on things that are really hard to sort of do separately.
Right.
But we're figuring it out. Musicians are during this weird time are trying. We so need to make music that we're refusing to give up, and that's good. But I still have faith that we're all in the same room together. And I had the pleasure of performing with you and Deborah together.
Oh, that was wonderful.
That was the last concert on the Canal. Yeah, that was the last one that happened before the shutdown. Well, that was the one you did. That's the one you did with Deborah. That was in 2017, and that was the one the three of us did together.
Beautiful poster.
Then my husband did that together. Yeah, we did all this winter themed music from different cultures. We played some massenet.
And I taught that massenet this past week to a cello student.
I was just remembering this. Yeah, maybe we'll do it again together sometime. That would be wonderful.
I love that.
We're hoping we will come back soon. I mean, people don't know that Arthur used to teach at Smith College. He's very well known in this area. He's still one of ours, even though he's moved to Jersey City.
And that setting, Gateway, is so beautiful. I mean, it just breaks my heart. It's so romantic in the 19th century sense, or it evokes so much in me every time I'm there. And I hope it gets. And we get going again.
I hope so too. I have faith we can do it. Yes. Well, we're going to play your beautiful Beethoven with Deborah right now, and thank you for sharing it with us, and thank you for talking about it.
Oh, thank you, Mary.
See you soon.
Bye.
Wow, that's amazing. They were able to make it sound as if they were playing exactly together. That's really, really well done. Beautiful playing. Our thanks to both Art and Deborah for sharing with us today. I wanted to tell you just a couple things about the series Concerts on the Canal, which we actually inaugurated on March 28th, 2015. It was a concert that I did with Judith Gordon, a wonderful pianist. We called it Love Songs and Waltzes on the Canal because we were meant to do it Valentine's Day, but we got snowed. We had to move it back. It happens in Massachusetts. That was a really fun concert, and it was the first one in the series. For 2 years, Concerts on the Canal was funded in part by the Holyoke Cultural Council, which we really appreciated. And then in 2018, as Emily Brink and I discussed earlier in the broadcast, that that was when the board was formed, Gateway City Live, which is a nonprofit organization. So Concerts on the Canal has been operating under that organization since 2018. And I wanted to just share a couple of the posters of some of the highlights that I think we've had so many wonderful concerts, but we had these wonderful Boston-based lute and soprano duo called In Stile Moderno. They gave us a beautiful concert of William Laws, and we hope they can bring them back in the future. They did a gorgeous job with that music. And then this one was one of my favorites that we did. It was for Earth Day. And I got to sing on that one with Peter Shea and Monica Yakuch-Levert, wonderful pianist. And we did nature-themed music, and it was in coordination with the Kestrel Land Trust, which is a wonderful organization in the Pioneer Valley. And we were really happy to partner with them on Earth Day. That was a wonderful event. This was really fun. This was a Renaissance flute consort. I mean, how many times do you get to hear that? That's founded by Christopher Kruger, who he taught at BU and UMass. He's a former member of the Handel and Haydn Society, and he always played Baroque flute, and then he wanted to go back even earlier, and he put together this beautiful concert, and it was so much fun to hear these early instruments. You don't hear it very often at all, of course. That was fun. And this was something fun for me, because hopefully it was fun for other people. I love Bach's wedding cantata, soprano cantata. It's just beautiful. And we got to perform that last year, and we have such great musicians in the Pioneer Valley. Gregory Hayes, Alice Robbins, Sarah Briggs, Dolores Thayer, Aaron Lakota, and Kyla Graff. That was really, really fun concert. Beautiful music, and I love singing that piece. Last November, we had a packed house for this concert. Flutist Sue Kurian and pianist Meg Kelsey Wright, from whom you'll hear a little bit more in just a moment. So that's just sort of a smattering of some of the things that we presented on this particular series. We've tried to present music from every era, from the Renaissance to the Baroque, classical, Romantic eras, 20th and 21st centuries. And it's a platform for the many high-level artists that work and teach in this area, as well as other areas of New England. So we look forward to expanding the series when Gateway is able to reopen. So I wanted to share a video of a concert that I did with Deborah Gilwood and Ignacy. I mentioned it earlier. It's the one that you saw the picture of us all in front of the portrait of Martin Luther King. The theme of that concert was sort of journeys away from home and returning to home. So one of the pieces I chose to sing is by Reynaldo Hahn. It's a French song, and it's a sort of a sad poem, but Hahn sets it in sort of an upbeat way. It's not really sad. It's actually more kind of serene. It's called Cimetière de Campagne, which just means country cemetery. And the poet is gazing over his home village and sort of considering that his parents are buried there. Everyone in the town knows him because he grew up there. And someday, when he's done with all of the hectic stress of life, he'll rest there too. And it will be actually a sweet moment and a good thing when that happens. And it ends with these words: surrounded by all my loved ones, as in the old days, I will hear the gentle voice of the bells pealing over the village. They saw me when I was 20 and have grown no sadder since. They will tell me things to pass the time. So if you enjoyed this presentation that we did a couple of years ago at Gateway of this Reynaldo Hahn song.
J'ai
Okay, so finally, we're going to close this broadcast with a real treat. I mentioned earlier, I showed you a photo of Sue Kurian and Meg Kelsey Wright performing together last year, but actually they'd come the year before to Gateway with Lynn Lovell, bass player, and Billy Arnold on drums, and they performed at the Claude Bowling Suite for flute and jazz piano trio, which is a lot of fun. This piece was written in 1973 by Claude Bowling, who is 90. He is still with us, so we can celebrate Claude Bowling today too. It's a crossover hybrid work of blended classical and jazz styles. This is the way that Meg describes the piece. It is ever colorful, varied, and full of musical surprises. The flute and piano parts move in and out of classical conversational moments in Baroque style, crisply talking back and forth to each other. And then it's a great description of this piece. So we're going to close this broadcast with their beautiful rendition. These are these wonderful musicians playing for us. The final and energetic movement of the jazz suite, Veloce. Enjoy. Well, that was really, really fun. Thank you so much to Sue, Meg, Lynn, and Billy for sharing that with us and for coming to play Gateway. We hope you can come back in the future. Thank you so much for watching this broadcast. And maybe you learned a little bit about Gateway City Arts. Maybe you learned a little bit about Gateway City Live. Maybe it will inspire you to donate to the GoFundMe, and we can all meet together in person in Holyoke at the wonderful building that is Gateway. I just want to say in closing, many, many thanks to all of you for joining us, but also a huge thank you to Emily Brink, who really worked with me for hours on putting this together, and all the musicians today who shared their time and their talent with us. Arthur and Alice and Emily and Ignacy, Deborah, Meg, Sue, Lynn, and Billy. We couldn't have any of this music without you, and you were so generous to give us the go-ahead to share your work. And finally, a really big thank you to my husband, Greg Brown, who has helped me put together all this media and all this technology. So we're going to sign off for now, but all the information you need to reach the GoFundMe and donate is linked on this page. We hope you're inspired and that you want to join us as much as we want to back in Gateway, back in the future when things are going a little bit better for all of us. And please take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Have a great evening.